Hi guys, welcome back again, dear students, grade 7. I'm glad that I come back with you. Today we will talk about adjacent angles on page 185. But the first thing, let me show to you these angles. If you remember before, when we are saying if you want to draw any angle, you need two rays, ray 1 and ray 2. Yes. So here, as you see, we have two angles, 1 and 2. And this one is the common ray between angle 1 and angle 2. So here is an example that angle 1 and angle 2 are are adjacent angles. Let me go to other example. Here again, we have three angles, 1, 2, and 3. And also we have ray 1 and ray 2, and we have the common ray between them. So here, what we can say, angle 1 and angle 2 are adjacent, yes, as you see, angle 1 and angle 2, and the common ray is between them, yes, they are adjacent. And also angle 2 and angle 3 are adjacent, yes, again, angle 2, angle 3 are adjacent, excellent guys. But can we say that angle 1 and angle 3 are adjacent? No, we can say, yes, you are right. So 1 and 2 are adjacent, 2 and 3 are adjacent, and as you see, between 1 and 2 we have the common ray, and between 2 and 3 we have another common ray 1 and common ray 2, but 1 and 3 are not what? Are not adjacent angles. Excellent guys, so angle 1 and angle 3 are not adjacent angles. One more thing, can we divide any angle into adjacent angles? Yes. For example, if we took this one, angle 60, as you see, it's what's an acute angle. You can divide this angle into any two adjacent angles. So, again, can we divide any angle into adjacent angles? Yes. For example, if we go to angle 60, we can draw it into two adjacent angles. So, you can, for example, you will say 60 is 20 plus 40, and both of them are acute angles, or 60 equal 30 plus 30. Again, it is two acute angles. So, again, excellent guys. Again, we have the common ray, as you see, between 40 and 20, ray 1 and ray 2. So, these two angles, yes, they are adjacent, angle 20 and angle 40. Or we can, yes, 30 and 30, again we have the common ray, and we have ray 1 and ray 2, as you see. So also 30 and 30, they are what? These two adjacent angles. Now we will explain one of the adjacent angles. We call them adjacent supplementary angles property. Now we will ask Mr. ourselves, what do we mean by supplementary angles? Before we know that, what is the meaning of adjacent? But Mr., this word is new for us. Supplementary angles. Yes, you are right. So, supplementary angles are those angles, their sum equals 180. So again, what do you mean by supplementary angles? Supplementary angles are those angles, their sum equals 180. And you can make as many as of these angles from your own. For example, one of you will say, Mr. 180, it comes from 20 and 160, yes. 20 is acute angle and 160 is obtuse. Or another one, he will tell me, Mr. No, 180 is 90 plus 90, and both of them are right angles. A third one, student will tell me, Mr. I will do it 180 equal to 140 plus 40, and 140 is obtuse and 40 is acute. Now, can we draw them? Yes, we can show these adjacent supplementary angles for you. As you see, again, we have 20, we have this one, ray 1, and we have this one, ray 2, and the common ray between them, yes, excellent, the red one. So this is 20 and this is 160. If you will add them, what you will get? You will get 180. So these two angles are what? So as we say, guys, here the first example of adjacent supplementary angles, it was 160 and 20. And as you see, you have ray 2 and you have ray 1 and the common ray between them. So these two angles are what are adjacent supplementary angles. If you will add them, 160 plus 20, you will get 180. Let me go, Mr. to the other example. As you see here, guys, we have another example. Yes, you are right. We have two angles, 90 and 90. We have ray 1 and ray 2, and the common ray, the green line between them. So again, this example is for adjacent supplementary angles. If you will add them, 90, 90, you will get 180. Example 3, again, you have ray 1 and ray 2, and you have what? You have the common ray in red. Again, we have two angles. They are adjacent and they are supplementary. If you will add 140 and 40, what you will get? You will get 180. So this example also is about what? Adjacent supplementary angles. Guys, we have an example in your book, example 2 on page 185. As you see, guys, here we have too many letters, K, L, D, M, N, B. We have two angles, 45, 45. Here it is written ray 1, here it is written ray 2. What's happening, mister? Let me go, guys, before we start to answer the questions of this example. So, till now, what we understood, guys. We understood, mister, the meaning of adjacent angles, and at the beginning I show you too many examples of adjacent. Then we go to adjacent supplementary angles. Now, we will define something, we call it congruent angles. Yes, guys. But mister, what is the meaning of congruent angles? We know the meaning of adjacent. We know the meaning of adjacent supplementary angles. But mister, what do you mean about congruent angles? Congruent angles, my dear, are those angles have the same measure. Here, mister, can we find two congruent angles? Yes, excellent, good question. But guys, before I will answer this question for you about congruent angles, I want from you to focus with me how we can read an angle. Guys, any angle, maybe you will put three letters, for example, MDN. So always the letter in the middle, what? Yes, represents the angle. So, mister, can we read all the angles here? Yes, why not? Let me start. The first angle here, as you see, it is MDN. And the 145 is NDB. Go to the left, we have MDK, and also we have KDL. Always, as you see, D in the middle because D is the angle. So maybe some of you will ask me, mister, can we read them in the opposite? Yes, you can say MDN or NDM. You can say NDB or BDN. You can say KDL or you can say LDK. You can say MDK or KDM as you wish. So this is important for me before we start. So the important thing, guys, how to read any angle. So he's asking the first question, name two adjacent angles. So the answer is the angles MDN and MDK are two adjacent angles. Can you see them, mister? Yes, why not? MDN, bravo guys, MDN and MDK. Yes, bravo. So as you see, yeah, we have the same symbol for both of them. That means they are what? They are adjacent. So MDN and MDK, yes guys, they are what? As you see, the common ray is MD and DN is ray number 1 and DK is ray number 2. So bravo guys, MDN and MDK are what? Are adjacent angles. Now, let me have one more thing. He said MD is the common ray. Yes, because it lies between these two adjacent angles. Yes, we show that. Again, the adjacent angles are MDN and MDK, and DN is ray 1 and DK is ray 2, and DM is what? Is the common ray, as you see, guys. So here we will continue. So guys, B, name two congruent angles. As we say, we have these two congruent angles. As you see in our graph, we have NDB and KDL both of them have the same measures, 45. So it is written here in question B, measure of angle NDB equal to 45 and measure of angle KDL equal to 45. And then we can conclude that measure of angle NDB equal to measure KDL. So by this we can conclude that these two angles are congruent. Again, as we see here, we have, we have NDB and KDL, or we can say BDN and LDK, as you wish. As you see, they have the same measure, 45, 45. So question B, we answer it. And these two angles are what? Are congruent angles. Now let me go to question C. Question C, it says that if MDN, this angle, and NDB are congruent, can you find the measure of angle MDB? By the way, guys, focus. MDB is the one, the big one. Guys, where is it? Yes, excellent. MDB is the big one. So he wants from you to give him the measure of this angle. Maybe obviously, if you look on this angle MDB or BDM, you can conclude that this angle is what? Is right angle. So its measure is 90. But we want to, to mention the, mention the steps to tell him that how it's equal to 90. So in this case, again, he wants from us to find the measure of MDB, and obvious, as we say, MDB or BDM is a right angle. Its measure is 90. But he give us something, he give us something help. He said that if these two angles, MDN and NDB, are congruent, can you show us, mister, where are these MDN and NDB? Yes. MDN and NDB, did you see them? Yes. He said they are congruent. Again, MDN and NDB, since they are congruent and since the measure of angle NDB equal 45, so obvious that will give us that the measure of angle MDN equal to 45. Again, it's given in question C that MDN and NDB are congruent, and already we know that from the question that the measure of angle NDB is 45. So mister, since these two angles are congruent, so again the measure of this angle is what? Is 45. So bravo guys. To find the measure of angle MDB, so we can say that the measure of angle MDB equal the measure of angle MDN plus the measure of angle NDB. That means 45 plus 45, so it will give us what? It will give us 90. Excellent. Here we will read what he's giving. He said it's giving that MDN and NDB are congruent. Yes, From B, we know already that the measure of angle NDB is 45. And since they are congruent, so again, MDN is what? Is 45. So we have that the two angles NDB and MDN are two adjacent angles. So to find, with the common ray DN, I will show it to you for you. Yes, guys, the common DN, the common ray is the common ray for the angles MDN and NDB. Yes, so the measure of angle MDB equal measure of MDN plus measure of NDB, and we know that this is 45 and this is 45. So the measure of angle MDB, that one, the big one, MDB equal to 90, and we say that this angle is a right angle. The last question in D, it asks that show that the angles MDN and KDL are congruent. Again, where is MDN? MDN and KDL. KDL, how we can prove to him or to show him that these two angles are congruent? Again, MDN and KDL, how we can show him that these two angles are what? Are congruent. So guys, the last question D, show that the angles MDN and KDL are congruent. Mister, can you show us these two angles? Of course, my dears. MDN, above, look directly from this to this. MDN, that means this angle, and KDL, KDL. That means he wants from us to show him that these two angles are congruent. Again, he said MDN, MDN, and KDL. Okay? So, let me go here. Let me say what did he write. It means that these two angles have the same measure. Yes. When he asked us to show him that these two angles are congruent, in the other words in math, it means that they have the same measure. Let me see what did he say. We have that measure of MDN equal to 45. Where is MDN? MDN, how? Because in C, yes, we said 45 plus 45 equal to 90. So the first thing we know from C that the measure of angle MDN equal to 45. And already, if you go to the chart or to the graph, it's given us that KDL is 45. Again, from C, we got that the measure of angle MDN equal to 45. Yes. And already it's given us that the measure of angle KDL is 45. So as you see here, guys, we have 45, 45. So it's obvious that measure of angle MDN equal to measure of KDL equal to 45. So these two angles MDN and KDL are congruent. And so for me, guys, these exercises to improve yourself as our homework, yes, on page 186, I want from you, my dears, to do for me 1, 2, 3, 4, 11, 12, 13, and 14. And for today, your lesson is finished. Have a nice day, and I hope that I will see your homework are done. So again, I want from you guys to do these exercises for me, page 186. They are 1, 2, 3, 4, 11, 12, 13, and 14 on page 186. And I will send you another video. I will say to you bye, my dears, bye.